Here's your report.
Thanks, Jane. I wish I could hire a whole team of yous.
Try posting a job on LinkedIn. It's the world's largest professional network. Unlike resumes, LinkedIn gives a real-time view into a candidate's skills, experiences, and more.
Let's do it. You're irreplaceable, Jane, but another you would be great.
Find your perfect match with LinkedIn. Post your free job at linkedin.com/achieve. That's linkedin.com/achieve. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Disney's Mufasa, The Lion King. Get tickets now for the ultimate family holiday movie experience. Reunite with the characters you know and the untold story you'd never expect. Witness Mufasa's rise from orphan to king and see how the legendary villain Scar got his name. Disney's Mufasa, The Lion King, in theaters everywhere this Friday. The kingdom awaits.
This is the plaintiff, Cassia. She says the defendant is her son, and she purchased a car for him, and he was supposed to make the payments. He made all but 2 of the payments because he's mad she wouldn't let his girlfriend move in. He thinks he doesn't have to pay her what he owes her because she's his mother. But son or no son, she wants the $1,694.58 she's owed. This is the defendant, Kevon Reed. He says he and his mother argue a lot, and every time that happens, she calls the cops on him. What kind of mother does that? He's not paying his mother for a car he shared with her but never got to drive because she always had it, and he can't believe she's suing her own son in court. He's accused of letting a mom down.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milian presiding. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Litigants have been sworn.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
All right, Ms. Kesia, you are suing your son, Mr. Reed, 20-year-old son, right?
Yes, ma'am.
For $1,694.58, 2 car payments he's supposed to pay and didn't pay. How did we get here? Talk to me.
So, my son, at age 19, I bought him a car for himself. It was a Chevy Cruze. He totaled it, and then...
Was that his first accident?
Yes.
Okay.
So I bought another car, which is the Acura that we're suing for today. And then he...
When you say you bought it, whose name is on the car?
It's my name and his name.
Both names?
So he
Okay.
was depressed after the first accident, and I decided to get him another car because he wasn't able to get back and forth from 2 jobs.
Okay, on the first accident, what year?
It's a 2013.
Okay, and this car, however, is a what?
2021 Acura.
You say it's a 2022 Acura?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the car payments on this 2022 Acura are what per month?
It's $847.
$847?
Yes.
Okay. That sounds like a pretty big car payment. Sounds like you're working just to make the car payment.
That's all I had to do.
Well, he was
So
working.
that's all you did. God forbid. What do you mean that's all I had to do? What you have to do is make your way in this world and save some money so that you can, there's other things you can do with the money besides spend the whole thing on a car. But in any event, you help him to do that at the age of 20?
Yes.
All right, and then what happened? Wait. And what happens with that car?
He met in an accident 3 weeks after.
3 weeks? Okay. And then did that car get fixed?
Well, it was in the shop when he borrowed my car and totaled my
So now we have
personal
3 totalings of cars. Is that correct? All right, let's talk about the Acura, which is the subject of this lawsuit. How did that accident happen?
The Acura, I was driving that car. I was going to work. I had a meeting that day, and on the way across the street, I got hit on the side.
You got hit on the side?
Yes.
Was that accident your fault or not your fault?
It wasn't my fault because I was already in the middle of the street, Your Honor, and the other lady was stopped, like her car was fully stopped, and she just drove forward.
If it was stopped, it wasn't...
She wasn't looking up.
Okay, and did you get a ticket?
I did get a ticket.
Did you get arrested?
I didn't get arrested.
Okay, and what was your understanding of how the accident happened? The same way he said?
He had the stop sign, and I think he didn't wait because prior to that, I was teaching him to drive.
Who had the stop sign?
What do you mean by who had the stop sign, Your Honor?
You were the person who hit you. Who
I
had
was on the stop sign.
Did she have a stop sign?
No, she did not.
Then it's your fault. You're supposed to see that she's coming because she didn't materialize out of thin air. If you have a stop sign and she doesn't, you're not supposed to go until she clears. So of course that one's your fault. So who pays to get that car fixed?
So the insurance paid.
Your what insurance? The ladies or yours?
Mine.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay, so while the Acura is getting fixed, what do, Mom?
I had to pay almost $3,000 to rent a car for 3 months. And then my friend loaned me her car for a month.
Does your friend know the history of all this?
I didn't loan him. I was the one driving it.
So you started driving him to his jobs?
I drove him sometimes, and then sometimes I wouldn't, because he had 2 jobs. He had a night job and a day job. That's why he could afford to pay for the car.
So then where's the Acura now?
The Acura is at my house.
Who's driving the Acura now?
I'm driving it.
You've had 3 accidents, 2 of them totaling cars in the space of how long?
Less than a year, Your Honor.
And you're 21 now?
Yes, Your Honor. 20. I'm 20.
You're 20 now.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're 20 now. All right. So do you live with your mom?
Not right now, no.
All right. When the Acura got hit, what month was that?
That was September, I want to say, in around 2021, yeah.
2021?
Yes.
All right. And is that the last time you drove it?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Is that accurate?
Well, that's the last time he drove it by himself. If he's driving, I have to be in the car. Okay. I'm always in the car because I'm scared, because my insurance is already high.
So who's made the car payment since September of 2021 until now?
He's been making all the car payments.
All of the car payments, yes. Except for October and November.
Yes.
Okay, so what happens in October to change things?
So in October, I went to Buffalo to buy him another car.
Why Buffalo?
Because that's where the car was cheaper. Okay. And my friend's husband had the car, and he wanted to get rid of it. So I told him I'll take it. So we went there on the plane. And while we're going there...
And you bought this car too?
Yes, it was $2,000. So I'm just tired of trying to get back and forth with him. I have to pick him up or drop him off, and then we get into an argument about it. So I was like, okay, if I get him his own car, then he could have another job, because he had 2 jobs. Because he had no car, he had to quit one. So I'm trying now to get him back on his feet so he could at least have a life as a young man.
I have one piece of advice for you on that. Don't allow him to get into a situation where he owes $847 a month on a car, because he's living for the car, right? That's probably not the greatest idea, especially with somebody who's totaled a bunch of cars, right?
Well, at the time, he could afford it. Well, he still can afford it because he was living with me.
Can he afford it now? Because I can't help but notice that he's not paying it, he's angry, you're not letting him drive it, and you're in court. So it seems like it was a bad idea. It would have been a better idea to buy him a used car and let him earn his own money and make his own credit. I'm speaking. Why are you talking over me?
I'm sorry.
Let him earn his own credit and let him, on his own, then buy the current year model car on his own when he can. Otherwise, he should be driving the hoopties that he can wreck, right?
Prior to us going to Buffalo, I hear him and his girlfriend talking on the phone. And she lived in another country then, so she was coming back to America. And I called her and I asked her, where are you going to stay? She said she's going to stay. She was planning on staying with us, but she wasn't discussing it with me. So I said to her she cannot stay there because I was having a party for my daughter in October, and she wouldn't be able to stay there because my aunt and my other family members are going to come in. So I explained
How old is your daughter?
She's 3.
Okay.
On our way back from Buffalo, I saw her text message from her, which I didn't say anything until today. The text message said, did you talk to her, which is me. I just bottled it up. He was being ungrateful, yelling at me, telling me that I need to get back to New York on time because he has to play his game. And that's when I found out that...
Play what game?
His Xbox.
He has to play his Xbox.
So I had to get back to New York on time, even though I'm getting him a car. So then that's when I found out that my son is just using me. He doesn't really care about me. He just cares about what I can do for him. We got back to New York. After we got back to New York, it was a Saturday. His girlfriend was already in town, and he wanted her to stay there. So he sat in the bathroom while I was doing what I was doing, asking me why she can't come in the house, why she can't stay here. I explained to him that you cannot bring someone in here because you don't have any respect for me as a mother, and you don't appreciate what I'm doing for you, no matter what I do, you will never appreciate it. It's not her fault. I love her. But you, on the other hand, don't understand yourself. So he got angry. He pushed the door off the hinges. I went into the bathroom to take a shower. The baby was in the bathroom. We are all three in the bathroom, and he's yelling at me, why can't my girlfriend come to the house? And he said, if you don't let Monastery comes in the house, I'm going to break it, which is my daughter. Like,
Wait, I'm going to break it?
Yes.
Do you refer to your sister as it?
Yes.
Why?
Because that's a little nickname I do. I do it, Demia, demigod, whatever comes at the time.
So, according to you, it's not disparaging?
No.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
So in 2 seconds after she was crying, I opened the curtains, I ran out naked, and she was laying like this. I couldn't ask her what happened.
Did you hear what happened?
I didn't hear it because the shower was running.
What do you think happened?
I think he shoved her.
Okay, so you think he did something to the baby?
Yes.
You don't know what he did?
No.
You can't testify to having seen him do it. And then what happens?
So he left, I left, and then we came back the next day, which is Sunday. The night prior, I slept with my fan at my door because I don't know what he's capable of doing because he's upset. So
what has he done in the past that would make you think that?
He never done anything. It's just the anger that he has.
All right.
So he got up, he punched the door, and he grabbed the car keys, which is the Acura keys, and he ran outside, proceeding to drive it away, and I called the cops.
Really? And what happened?
So the cops said they couldn't lock him up because he didn't do anything. He just took the car, but he left the key. Well, he was outside with the keys, and then he tossed it over the house. I don't know if it fell into the neighbors.
Did you take the car away, or you didn't take the car away?
He didn't take the car.
Okay, so the police come, and what did the police say to you folks?
He just said, I have to take him to court. So
what happens? He doesn't stay there?
He stayed there. He was there until October 24th, where I got up in the morning, I asked him for the car payment, and he said to me, these were his exact words. He said, you remember when you said to me that everything I do affects you? And I said, yes. He said to me, now I'm going to do something to destroy you. Which is? Which is not paying the car payment, so I can't get to
ruin your
work,
credit.
and I can't do it right.
Okay, so when does he move out of your house?
He didn't move out. They took him out. The police came and gave him the
Because you got a restraining order against him. And on what grounds did you get the restraining order against him? What did you tell the judge?
I told them I'm scared for my life and my daughter's life.
Yeah, but what evidence did you give them to make them grant it? Because you can't just say that and get a restraining order.
I told them he hit her.
Okay, but you never saw him hit her?
No, but I told her that.
What happened with the restraining order? Did it get extended?
Yes, it's extended until February.
All right. Did you hit your sister?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did you end up leaving the house based on the restraining order?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are you living?
With my uncle.
Okay. Is this your girlfriend?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that where she's living with you too?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you pay rent to your uncle?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you pay rent to your mom?
To my knowledge, no and yes at the same time.
I don't know what that means, but tell me.
Because she asked me for rent money, and I gave her the money for rent, and she spent it on rent. And before, she's done the same thing where some of my money went towards rent.
Did she ask you for rent and you gave her rent?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so where's the no part?
The no is because my money's supposed to be going towards just the car payment, nothing related towards the house at all.
What about in the last year? Have you been paying any rent?
No, I have not been paying any rent.
All right. You and your mom had this agreement that you would pay the car payment because that was the only thing you were going to have to pay, according to you, so that was fine and you could afford it. Okay. As you look back, do you kind of regret?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah.
There's so many things I could have did more instead of doing this that one car.
Right. Living for a car. It's crazy.
I could have been living in
But see, he's a kid. You're an adult. You should have guided him better on that.
This episode is brought to you by Iams Pet Food. When you choose Iams dry dog or cat food, you can see a difference in your pet with your own eyes. Healthy energy in 5 days, healthy digestion in 10 days, and healthy skin and coat in just 25 days. Satisfaction for you and them. Guaranteed or your money back. Feed Iams dry dog or cat food and see a visible difference. Visit iams.com/difference to learn more.
I've got a lot of grandbabies, like a lot. And when it comes to finding a gift for each of them, it could add up. But this year, while I was making my way through Walmart, I realized I don't have to spend a lot to get the gifts they'll love.
An OPI mini mani set. I'm gonna do so much nail art.
Oh, yeah! A Lego set. Might own a Walla water bottle.
Ooh, and that's just half of them.
Shop great gifts they're sure to love for $25 and under at Walmart.
So there's two things going on. Both your names are on the loan, right? But the agreement between the two of you, which is a second agreement, is that you are going to make the car payments. So your answer for why you're not making the car payments is?
Because I don't think my money's going towards the car payments.
Well, I mean, you have a better answer, and I'll give it to you, which is that you are not allowed to drive the car.
Right.
But I didn't total my car.
You're giving me reasons why I understand why you don't want him driving the Acura. See, but you're not understanding that my job here is not to remother him. My job is to figure out what the legal ramifications between the two of you are. Okay? So I totally understand why you don't want him to drive the Acura. The problem that you have is that the agreement between the two of you is he drives the Acura and makes the car payments. For the last year, he hasn't been able to drive the Acura alone, but he's still been making the car payments. And then he finally decided, that's it, I'm not going to make the car payments. Now, you're on the hook for the car payments. Your name is on the car. You know, your credit is being ruined just the same as you're ruining your mom's credit. Your credit is also being ruined.
Sure, Your Honor.
But I'm here only to enforce that separate agreement between the two of you on the car payments. And if you're not letting him drive the car, if he doesn't have the car, why should he make the car payments?
Your Honor, if I had my Nissan Rogue, he would be driving the car.
Yeah, no, these are all bad decisions on your part.
Right.
You keep handing a guy who totals cars another car. I don't care about that. That doesn't change the agreement for him to make the car payment. I only have to look at the agreement for him to make the car payment. You keep doing other things because he's your son and you love him, and so you do another thing and you buy him another car, but that doesn't change the agreement for him to make the car payment. If you want him to continue paying for the car, he needs to have the car. The bottom line is his agreement with you is that he pays for the car because he has it, and you are not letting him have it, which I get, but that means that agreement's over. Okay? Now, when I say that, I don't want you misunderstanding me. You are liable for the car vis-a-vis the company that you're making car payments to. So I hope you two figure out a way to resolve your problem. My problem is resolved. Under this scenario, on this separate agreement that the two of you have, my problem is settled because you're not letting him have the car. So I am not going to order him to make those two payments.
Well, surprisingly, in this mother-son dispute, the son is off the hook. He doesn't have to pay the car payments because the mother won't let him drive the car. Let's see what she has to say about it.
It's my mistake. I gave a son everything that he ever wanted, but he's just ungrateful.
It hadn't turned out too well, has it? That you did so much for him.
At the end of the day, I did, as he knows that I did everything I could as a mother, and if you choose not to oblige by even what the judge say. It doesn't matter what the judge say. It's about me and him. And without me, he wouldn't have a car. And if I give him the car, what would I drive? I would walk.
You got a major problem with your son between the two of you. What do you think's going to happen? How are you going to work this out? Forget about the car issue, but what about everything else?
Well, if he wants to have a relationship with me, that's his choice. I don't have anything against my son. I just think he's privileged to everything he wants. And if he doesn't want to have a relationship with me, it's fine. I know as a mother, I've done everything I can for this guy.
Well, listen, I'm sorry to hear it, but that's the way you feel. That's the way it is. All right, well, let's see what the son has to say now. He just heard his mom. Mr. Reed, this relationship with your mom, you know, what are your thoughts about it?
It's on and off, honestly. As soon as I got out of school, I started working. I've been giving her my money the entire time. And now I don't even know where the money's really going. And it's been this entire time, I've just been, trying to get by, stay in a house, roof over my head. Everything seemed right. She always claims she does the most for me. She does everything she can for me. But at the end of the day, she got me into this situation. I could have gotten into a house instead of having this car problem. I could have been out of her way. But, we're here now. She just doesn't want me driving the car because she thinks I'm going to crash it.
Well, I don't blame her, quite frankly.
Right.
You've had bad luck in that area.
The first accident was definitely the brakes, but we'll give it to them.
All right. Well, listen, I hope you work it out with your mom. But in this case, this dispute, you're off the hook. Okay?
Right.
Harvey, what do you think?
Well, Doug, I mean, this is pretty simple. The son got no value because his mom wouldn't let him drive the car. In a sense, she breached the contract, and that's why he won.
A neighbor asked us to dog sit their dog for a few weeks while they were out of town. It's been 3 weeks with no response or communication from them. Since pets are considered property, how long do we have to wait until the property is deemed abandoned and we can legally keep her?
Ooh, this is always a perilous thing.
Right.
You don't want to leave your pet in the care of someone who wants your pet.
Right, and pets are personal property.
They are.
In the eyes
they
of the
are,
law.
even though we think of them as children. And the thing is, I'm curious whether it's been 3 weeks since they were supposed to have returned, or 3 weeks that they've been gone and you knew they were going to be gone for 3 weeks.
Right.
But the general rule is on abandoned property, most states have it's either written into law or it's case law through judges. And the reasonable time is usually considered 30 days. So in other words, if you're a tenant and you leave your stuff behind, the landlord actually can't throw it out until a reasonable time, which is usually deemed to be 30 days.
Right.
So under that theory, if the dog is property, then if they were supposed to return on October 1st and it is now the end of October, and 30 days have passed, technically speaking, you could say, well, you abandoned the dog. It's now mine.
No phone calls, no emails,
no phone calls,
no
and
texts.
now good luck.
You reach out to them, you can't get a hold of them.
If the police come, you know, and it gets a little hairy or whatever, but I think that you're within your rights after 30 days of not hearing from anybody to say it's no longer your dog.
So a couple of observations about this scenario. The bone of contention will be, was there an intent to abandon the dog? And you might think you can just hound this person until they roll over, but you're barking up the wrong tree if you do that. So if you go to court, I think the judge is going to say you're one sick puppy if you left the dog there for that long.
How long did you think about that?
Just now, come on.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. We're driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/MBO. Terms and conditions apply.
This is the plaintiff, Chandra Catcher. She says she sold a whole bunch of furniture to the defendant, and the woman took advantage of her kindness because now she refuses to pay her in full. That's right. She foolishly trusted this woman. She let her take the furniture before being paid in full, and now she can't get her to pay the remaining balance of $4,778. So she's suing. This is the defendant, Yolanda Warren. She says she paid for all the belongings she took from the plaintiff. She never agreed to buy the things she's now trying to charge her for, and that's that. She just wants this woman out of her life once and for all. And if anyone's out money for having to appear in court today, it's her. She's accused of not paying in full. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $200 for lost wages.
All parties, please use your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff sold a bunch of furniture to the defendant, and the plaintiff says the defendant is taking advantage of her because she is not paying in full. But the defendant says she paid for all the furniture she bought from the plaintiff, but the plaintiff is trying to charge her for things she didn't agree to buy, and that's simply not fair. It's the case of no love seat here.
Thank you, Douglas. All right, Ms. Catcher, you are suing Ms. Warren for $4,778. You say she owes you. Why? What happened?
I was leaving California and moving back to New York. I had placed items up on Facebook Marketplace, also on Offer Up.
How long were you in California?
I was in California a little less than a year.
Okay.
I had some illnesses and a cancer death, so we decided to just come back to New York and forget the California dream.
That, and you couldn't drop the New York accent either.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Defendant had contacted me on OfferUp on September 7th. We had conversated a little bit, and then we exchanged telephone numbers. She was interested originally in my 12-foot couch that I was selling, and the storage ottomans. And then we continued to text. We started to talk a little bit more, building a friendship. And then I had asked her if she would be interested in the rest of my apartment because I am moving, so I had so many things. She said, can I see some pictures? I sent her some pictures and things like that. One thing led into another. She said, "Ooh, I like this, I like that. Can you please take everything off of OfferUp?" I took off of OfferUp.
She said, "I'll take everything."
Yeah.
Had you settled on a price?
Yeah. I had said to her,
you can have all of it for $2,000. What did you say?
Yeah, I sent her quite a few pictures and stuff like that. And I said, I'll give you this as a bundle. It's $2,000 as a bundle package.
And she said, oh, after that, she said, take it off of OfferUp. I want it.
I didn't put the $2,000 into it. It's when she came, I believe, that I had said to her the $2,000.
Oh, so you hadn't even settled on a price at that point. Let me ask you a question. You see the pictures, you want the couch, you go to her house and you pick up the couch, correct?
Yes.
How much did you pay for the couch?
$600, but I gave her $700.
Why did you give her $700?
Because prior to that day, she had gave me 2 bins full of stuff, appreciation. You know?
Okay, so you gave her $700.
I gave her $700.
And you're shaking your head saying, well, how much was the couch?
No, she gave me $600 for the couch. She gave me $700. That was the couch and the 2 storage containers.
Okay, either way, there's no question she gave you $700, right?
No question she gave me $700, yeah.
Okay, did there come a time when you told her, take the rest of the stuff off of OfferUp because I want
just the couch.
Did you ever say to her, I want everything?
No.
Never?
No, I didn't. And when she was saying that, she was giving this price for this stuff, I said, I'll see. Because I didn't even know what the stuff looked like yet.
Well, let's see the text. Let's see the text. First should be 23 pics. Can you see them? Also, we have miscellaneous that we didn't post. Just going to give that to whoever. I got my day off on Tuesday. So I will do this on that day after I get the couch. What were you going to do Tuesday after you got the couch? What does that mean?
After I got the couch, after I seen everything, because I seen the couch.
My next payday is the 23rd, and I will give you another $600. That would be $1,200.
I told her that because
then when my roommate pays me rent on the 1st, I will give you $500.
Right.
And then on the 7th will be the last $200.
Okay, so...
And now if I add those figures, am I going to get $2,000?
Right. Okay.
Wait. So you're telling her that you want it, right?
Well, no, I was telling her that, but I didn't see the stuff yet.
Well, then why are you telling her when you're going to pay her for stuff that you don't want? She's telling you about how she and her husband have trust issues, not with each other, but with other people, okay? I don't want this to be an argument. We can go with the couches and the things you gave me last night and cut me that price. No, it's fine. We made a deal. I wanted to do a form of what I get from you. That way it was clear on what's expected. I like being honest, it was kind of rushed, so we didn't do this. The last thing I want is for you and your hubby to argue. Are you now looking at it on your phone? Can I have it on your phone, please?
Yes.
Hand it to my bailiff.
September 11th and then down.
Thank you.
These are not screenshots, right? These are the actual.
That's the actual.
Yeah. Maybe your roommate can pay you a few days earlier, so you get more to me before I leave. Then I guess we'll have to sign a promissory note. Yes, I will ask him if he will pay me earlier. So she's talking to you about a promissory note. It sounds like you're making a deal. It's fine, no worries, you get it all. If you can get your roommate to pay rent a few days earlier, then it's only $200 for you to send, meaning $200 after you've paid all the other things you say you're going to pay. I think I can trust that $200 will be sent and my hubby will be fine. Your answer is, you are so kind. Now, wait a second, I need to see everything in person. It's you are so kind for all of this, and again, you can trust me. I am very trustworthy. I'm the key holder of my complex. So when this is all over, your husband is going to owe me a certificate saying I do trust Yolanda, LOL.
Okay.
This feels right and good for both of us, so right. What happens when she gets there? She takes the couch.
The first time she came with her car and took a whole bunch of stuff. The second time, that's when she gave me the $700. With that, she came back a couple of days later with the truck to pick up the couch, but couldn't fit the storage ottomans in there. So she was supposed to come back again to fit the storage ottomans and everything else. But you'll see a little later, the story changes now.
She says, I think so, but all I want to get is the gray ottomans and TV. $1,300 is a little steep for the cubbies. That oven and cook thing. So what price would you give me for those 3 things? She says, I was giving you so much more, including the Tupperware full of stuff and the entire apartment, silverware, grills, and everything. And now you're saying this when I could have been selling. This is why we wrote a promissory note. This is later. This is on the 18th. When was a promissory note written?
The 12th when she got my couch.
Oh, when she came to pick up the couch.
Yeah, I have it right here.
Let me see the promissory note. I, Yolanda Warren, is buying Chandra Catcher's contents of apartment with the exception of personal belongings and tools for $2,000 cash, minus $700 that was given on 9/10, $1,300 owed. Is this your signature, ma'am?
I gave her a copy too.
Yeah, it's my signature.
Okay, and don't you say there that you will pay her $1,300 for the stuff?
Yeah, I didn't read it. It was fast.
Well, what were you signing? What did you think you were signing?
I was just signing. I thought it was just for what I got, the $700 that I paid.
I'm sorry.
I know.
Have you signed things before?
No, I have
You've
never.
never
been through
signed
this.
a single thing.
Not
You've
for
never
this.
signed a lease. You've never bought a car. You've never ever signed signed your name to a contract. Have you ever entered a contract?
Yes.
Okay, what is a contract?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. How did you turn a $1,300 case into a $4,700 case? What'd you do?
$1,300 is what she owes me.
Uh-huh.
The $2,000, the additional $1,500 that I am suing for is for the shipping cost of what that $2,000 was going to cover. So out of pocket, I had to ship all the stuff that I was shipping.
So what? Aren't you getting that if you sue? And by the way, it's not an additional. It's an additional $2,478. But go ahead.
Right. So I was suing for the $1,500 that it cost me in shipping.
Wait, were you talking about shipping your own stuff that you were always going to ship?
That was why I was selling all this for such a less price instead of keeping everything up on OfferUp. I just said $2,000.
I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're saying. Are you saying that you want her to pay a shipping cost that you were already going to spend for your own stuff that you were taking back with you to New York?
The stuff that I had sent her that she purchased from me, that money I was going to use for my shipping.
Is that a yes to my question or a
Yes.
no?
Wait.
Right, so this is what the stuff you're talking about, that shipping costs, are things you were taking with you to New York. It's just that was the money, so you think she should pay that too. She should not only pay you the $1,300, which would then put you in the position that you were in before the bad thing happened.
Right.
She should also, you should get a freebie on all your stuff being shipped to New York that you were supposed to pay. So she'd pay you the $1,300, then she'd pay you more money, and then you would be double dipping, and then you would come out way ahead based on the lawsuit, instead of just the lawsuit putting you in the position you were in before she did a bad thing and reneged.
Okay, so then the $300...
Okay, and pain and suffering, which you don't get in a contracts case. Money's paid to JetBlue. What's that about?
I had to take 2 additional tubs onto the plane with me.
Why?
Because I couldn't get rid of anything.
I'm sorry. You could take them to your nearest shelter and get rid of them.
This was all happening at 1 o'clock in the morning, September 26th. I was leaving September 27th at 4 o'clock in the morning. I had to call for an additional Uber to take those. It cost me more money in Uber to take those, the 2 cartons.
Why wouldn't you just put them in the garbage then? I think these were things you were taking to New York anyway.
No,
You're not going to get any of these additional monies. It's ridiculous. The point of court is not ching ching, let that cash register ring. The point of court is to put you in the position you were in before the bad thing happened, if I find that a bad thing happened. And I find that a bad thing happened. Because if you didn't want her stuff, then you deprived her of the opportunity to sell it to somebody else, and you signed a promissory note, and I'm not going to listen to you say, oh, I don't know, I didn't know what I was signing. Oh, I guess contracts don't matter in the world.
Okay, you're right. Okay.
Right.
Okay, I agree.
What are you suing for $200 for lost wages?
Because I'm missing work. You know.
Well, you wouldn't miss work if you had paid the $1,300 like you were supposed to.
Okay, and the stuff that she was selling me, she sold on OfferUp. If she pulls her OfferUp account up, you'll see that it was sold.
After it was obvious that she was not going to get them, were
The last 4 days, I scrambled around and probably sold. Mostly his tolls.
Okay,
actually.
that's what I need to know. Can you tell me what were the things in that $1,300?
That's right. There was TV. There was a TV
that she didn't get. That she was supposed to get and pay for. Go ahead.
TV, the 2 gray storage ottomans. She was supposed to get the 2 cubby units, end tables. There's so much more. I'm nervous right now.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to sit down with my staff and your OfferUp account. We're going to figure out what stuff was sold afterwards. According to you, how much did you sell afterwards?
Very few pieces. I have to.
My question was, how much did you sell?
Not even
500, 800, 1,000. How much?
Maybe $500 worth. Not even under $500 worth, because I was just giving everything away at that point.
We're going to figure out what that is from OfferUp, and that's going to be deducted from the $1,300, because the idea behind court is to make you whole, not to put you ahead of the game. In other words, you can't get the full $1,300 if you were able to get some of it. I don't want to guess at what you sold. I want to know what you sold. So, but I don't want to take up any more time because I have a lot of other cases still waiting outside. So this objective is going to be reached. I am ruling in your favor. I'm ruling in your favor. You have an enforceable contract. She owes you $1,300 minus whatever you were able to sell, which we're going to figure out by going on OfferUp and communicating with OfferUp. And you're going to need to cooperate to do that, because if you don't, it's not going to go well. What did you want to say?
I have a letter from my doctor stating that I had to increase my medication because of all this, because of the anxiety, the screaming, the fighting, the rage.
With your husband or with her?
With him. With him.
She's not going to pay for that.
And then up till the 26th of the night, I have texts asking my neighbors to come over and just take everything. And this is at 1 o'clock in the morning, the night before I'm leaving.
Yeah, this kind of thing happens.
Sounds like counseling.
Stop. Stop. Don't talk to each other, please.
It doesn't sound like counseling.
Your remedy. No. What did you say? It sounds like what?
Counseling. It sounds like I need a counselor. It sounds like counseling. What you did to me?
Stop. It's a contracts case.
Right.
You need to stop. You're very flippant about it.
Mm-hmm.
And don't tell someone who is just vulnerable and open enough to say, I had to up my medication. It sounds like you need counseling. That's kind of, stop.
Mm-hmm.
It is what you said.
Oh, okay.
That's counseling. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of rude, all right?
Okay.
But we're going to figure out, because she is, I just signed all over, signing the walls, signing the doors, I don't know what I'm signing. No, that's an enforceable contract, but it is appropriate for me to deduct whatever it is you were able to sell, because you can't sell it twice.
Right.
That's it. My staff is going to sit down with you, and we're going to hammer all that out. That is my verdict. Good luck, folks, and of course, your court costs.
So the plaintiff prevails. She is going to get $1,300 less, whatever the court figures out that she did sell. So let's find out what the defendant, Ms. Warren, has to say about this case. What are you thinking right now?
Nothing. It's fair. It is what it is. I learned my lesson. Never buy from OfferUp.
Right.
Don't buy from pushy people.
Well, I don't know. You had the chance. You said you were going to buy, and then you didn't.
But I didn't get it either.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, here comes the plaintiff, Ms. Ketcher. It's been an ordeal, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. Very much so. She scammed me. She came into my house and committed a punishable act of crime against me and robbed from me and scammed me through OfferUp. This is not her first time, and it won't be her last time.
A punishable act of crime. That's very serious.
Came into my house and took my... Yeah, absolutely. Signed contracts, led me to believe certain things, befriended me. I gave her everything, and this is what she does to me.
So what have you learned from this whole thing?
Never to trust anybody again, not even with a promissory note.
No one?
No one.
How about him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my God. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. They'll figure out how much you're going to get. All right, Harvey, what are your thoughts?
Doug, we always talk about get it in writing, get it in writing. This case is brilliant because there is a promissory note here, and that promissory note is worth its weight in gold. It basically says that if you take me to court and you don't want to pay, and I present this promissory note to the judge, guess what? You're going to lose.
I took my car to an oil change shop, but when I got home, oil leaked out of the oil drain plug and stained my concrete floor in my garage. I complained to the shop, but all they do is refund my $45 for the oil change. I paid my handyman almost $200 to degrease and clean the garage floor. Can I sue?
Yeah. You can. Actually, this happened to you.
Yeah.
I remember that something like this happened.
It did happen. It happened to a friend.
Okay.
I think your friend Kenny from law school.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Happened to Kenny from law school.
Yeah. It's coming back to me.
Something like that.
But yes, you can sue, and yes, that's a consequential damage of them not tightening the cap.
It should be compensable.
And it should be compensable.
It's a foreseeable consequence of them not tightening that oil drain plug.
Right.
So why not? And yeah, it can be a real mess, especially if you have one of those pristine white concrete garage floors and all of a sudden that stuff is in there.
Right.
Concrete is porous. It absorbs the oil. It's a minor catastrophe. You got to call the EPA to get the stuff out.
I don't think it's... As the kids ridicule you when you overdo something, it's a disaster of biblical proportions.
It would be. If it happened on my floor,
yes, I know. You're very serious. You and Kenny are very serious about your garages. Yes,
right.
I know.
Absolutely. Well, you know, in Kenny's case, I know that what happened to him was he went back to the guy and complained, and the guy gave him like a coupon for the next oil change.
Because why would I come back here?
Right. A lot of good that does.
Right.
That's it for this session of the People's Court. We will see you next time.